To make delicious, festive, flaky sausage rolls, we're going to start with some very basic ingredients. We've got some plain flour here, we've got some butter which has come straight from the freezer, I'll get to that soon. And then for the filling, really make sure you get the best quality sausage meat you can. I've got mine from my local butcher, and I'm adding to that an onion and some sage. There will be a little bit of seasoning as well, but you can season to your own taste. Okay, we're now going to take the frozen butter. Now the reason the butter's frozen is that it makes an incredibly short pastry when all the little bits of butter stick to the flour, and we want to make sure we have as little contact with the butter with our hands as possible, keep it nice and cold. I've had a great wee helper come along and sift the flour, but she loves to sift the flour. And so now, yeah, I'm just going to get stuck in. I'm going to wrap the butter packet around the bottom of the butter, like so, and I'm just going to dip it in the flour, get my grater, and I'm just going to start to use the coarse grater here, and you'll see the butter flaking in. Now we're going to do that until we have grated all of the butter into the bowl. I'm just going to the last bit of butter here, and there you can see got all that beautiful butter grated in there. What's it look like, Dolly?
Strands of hair.
I don't even want that in your head though. Okay, now, so I'm going to use a knife here, a palette knife, or one of these old-fashioned butter knives are brilliant. And I'm just going to stir the butter in with the flour. Do you want to have a go?
Yeah.
That's it. Get all the butter nicely coated with flour. Whoa! Got some escaping. Lovely. Keep going, that's it. Okay, great job. Now we're going to add a wee bit of water, and we're going to stir in a little bit of water just to bring all of that together into a dough. Again, try and just do this using a knife, and you should start to see that forming and collecting into a dough.
I haven't had the water ready.
See that starting to clump there? So you can see how that has all gathered together into a lovely butter pastry, and we're just going to gently gather that up with our hands now. That's it. Roll it into a ball. Yeah. So try and keep it all together. There we go. Now, there's quite a lot here. I should have said earlier, you want about 1.5 times more flour than butter. So I put a 250 gram block of butter in mine, along with about 370 grams of flour. And there we go. We're just going to pop this in a bag and leave it in the fridge to rest while we make our filling. Okay, so now we're going to make the filling for our sausage rolls. We're going to start with a couple of, with an onion halved, a sprig of sage stripped of its leaves. So we're just going to put the leaves in there, a wee bit of pepper, and then we're just going to blitz that in a food processor. If you don't have a food processor, it's fine, just chop it finely with a knife. Add sausage meat. I've got about 400 grams here. Again, really get the best quality that you can. That's the filling done. Ready to roll out our pastry. You will need a rolling pin and a lightly floured surface. Now I'm going to take my pastry that's been resting in the fridge in a bag, and I'm just going to start by roughly halving that pastry ball there. I just halved that bit I started with again, just so I could get it nice and thin so it fit in the board. And I'm just going to trim off this end piece here. So we've got a roughly oblong nice thin piece of pastry there. Now I'm just going to fill that now with sausage meat. Now I'm just going to fold the pastry over, so just pick up one edge, offer it up to your sausage meat, and then roll that round so it meets the other side of the pastry. And once you're right over, you can just gently press that down and firm it up. And look at that, we've got a lovely uniform giant sausage roll, which we can now trim into whatever size you want. I like to make mine medium sized, but do try make them all the same size. You can do that just by taking your first one and bringing it along the line. There we go. And we're just going to repeat that step. Now roll out a bit more pastry, fill with sausage meat. Line a baking tray with some baking paper, and then place your sausage rolls on the tray, leaving a bit of space in between so they can cook all round. Almost ready for the oven. I'm so excited. Right, so I'm going to get my scissors and I'm going to put a couple of snips at diagonals into the pastry just to give them a bit of vent as they cook. Okay, so here we go. Snip, snip. Try and keep these uniform. Boom. And now, last touch, a bit of egg wash just to make them lovely and golden and crispy on top. Alright, now straight into a preheated oven at 200 degrees centigrade for 35 minutes. So the sausage rolls have been in the oven for 35 minutes and here we are. Look, they are beautiful. Look at that golden pastry on top, and I can't tell you how good the house smells while they're cooking. So we're going to leave them there just for a minute or two, and then they're going to go straight onto a wire rack to cool, and that will just you ideally want to eat these when they're warm.